Good morning and aloha. Thank you very much for joining in our Jodo Buddhist Sunday service. Today is another Sunday. First, I have an announcement. On this month, October 21st, Wednesday, 3 o'clock, we will join in 1 hour Nenbutsu practice sponsored by All Japan Jodoshu Young Ministers Association. On October 21st, on that day, we were originally planning to visit Chioin Temple with a tour, and it's a Jodoshu Grand Head Temple in Kyoto, and where Honen Shonin, our Grandmaster, is enshrined. And because they recently completed, the great renovation during Heisei period, it took actually 9 years, starting from 2011, and this year was a year of celebration of grand reopening ceremony. And we were invited by Jodoshu Young Ministers Association, and we were planning to visit Chioin to celebrate together the dedication of Chioin Miedo. And the main building is called Miedo, and Mi actually means sacred, respected, and A means shadow. So it means sacred shadow, and this sacred shadow indicates that it's a portrait or a statue of somebody very superior. So Mie, in Jodo Shinshu they call it Goedo, but Jodoshu we say Miedo. The same meaning. It indicates that the grand hall of the temple building for the master, for the founder. So Miedo in Jodoshu Head Temple is actually, it's a national treasure built and dedicated by Tokugawa Shogun, the third Tokugawa Shogun, Iemitsu. So Tokugawa Iemitsu ordered to construct the main building of Chioin in 1639. So after so many years, and from time to time, they need to do the renovation, such as re-roofing. And this time, the Heisei Daishuri is a huge renovation during Heisei period, started in 2011 and completed last year. And this year was supposed to be a year of celebration, of dedication ceremony, and we were planning to join and in celebration in October, but because of the coronavirus, we couldn't make it. However, Jodoshu Young Ministers Association offered, to do online, virtual Nenbutsu practice with connection to Jodoshu Grand Head Temple Chioin. So, if you are, interested, please let me know. And this will be a great experience together with, so many priests. And I think they are preparing for 500, people Zoom. So with so many hundreds of people, we can join, and together we chant Nenbutsu. So if you have time, October 21st, Wednesday, 3 o'clock, Hawaii time, please check it. I'm sorry, I cannot, tell you what time is your location, but 3 o'clock, Wednesday, October 21st, Hawaii time, please, consider to join in Nenbutsu. So this actual invitation is extended to our members and ministers. So if you are Jodoshu follower, please let me know. So anyway, during the past years, this year actually wildfire in California is still going on, and then it's a great concern that from time to time we receive severe damages from the natural disasters. And because I'm from Japan, I'm very interested in news happened in Japan, and during the past years, I noticed that Kyushu area, south of Japan, they actually had so many heavy raining during summertime, and of course it's a hurricane season, so hurricane often come to Japan, but especially during last 5 years. Heavy rain took place, so often, and then every year, South Japan receives so many flash flood because of heavy rain. And one of the most unforgettable disaster is actually Hiroshima Prefecture, August 20, 2014. And that rain actually happened in Hiroshima city, and it caused so many houses destroyed and so many people, I think nearly 80 people passed away because of landslides, after heavy rain. And that area, because so many houses, and I think they never expect, such disaster would happen. And after this tragedy, they found out the old place name of that area was very unusual Japanese name. Very scary. So when I first time saw these characters, I thought it was very scary and very unusual. And I cannot forget, the place name. And the old name for that area was called Jarakuji Akudani. Jarakuji Akudani. It's very unusual. And then if you see the last two characters, Akudani, Aku is evil and or bird. So Dani is, or Tani is a valley. So Akudani, the last two characters says it's evil valley. And after, because over there landslides happened, so many people passed away, and they noticed that Akudani, why they call it Akudani, evil valley, was because they assumed that this happened before in the history, in the long history. It happened from time to time, and they actually want to be aware this could be very dangerous. And Jarakuji also is very scary, and Ja is something that I don't like. It's snake, Ja, heavy. And one of the best things that my Hawaii, I like Hawaii the best because there is no snake. And Hawaii in Japan, so many snakes, and there are also place names that includes snake. So anyway, the place which includes snake has very characteristic. That is flash flood. It's nearby river, huge river, and whenever heavy rain, it always has caused flash flood. And also heavy or snake indicate that landslides or flash flood or heavy rain itself. And raku, jaraku, raku means falling or fallen. And ji is a ground. So falling snake ground. Evil Valley is a name, Jarakuji Akudani. And what a very scary name. And if you know this name, I think nobody wants to live in that place named Evil Valley. So I think that's why so many years ago they needed to change place name from Jarakuji Akudani because nobody wants to live in that scary and evil name. However, after changing the name, people get lost the key, very important message that this could be a very dangerous place. And that's why that tragedy happened. So it's very interesting that place name, how it was named, how the name was named, was because I think the people are very mindful of what's happening right now and what is a characteristic of this area, of this land. And by being mindful of the characteristic of area, they actually name a place name. And place name, so in a sense, it's a kind of message from ancient people for the future generation, what could happen or what is the area about. And here in Hawaii, it's actually very interesting that there are so many place names that have Y, like Waikiki, Wailua, Wailuku, Waifu, Waipori, Waipahu, and Hawaii, Lawai, Waimea, Waikomo. Yeah, so many place names that includes Y. And why, as you know, it's a fresh water. And fresh water is actually why. And the reason why there are so many place names that have why is, I think, because Hawaiian people or Polynesian people are very mindful of why or fresh water. Because they live in the island. Sorry. Because they live in a small island. Why? Fresh water is so essential, and actually not only Hawaiian people, but all human beings. Why is so essential, so necessary for us? And so, because they are very mindful of why, and they are actually looking and mindful of characteristics of water. And especially Polynesian people, actually Hawaii people came from Tahiti or Polynesian culture islands. They actually came from, and they need to take a great voyage, ocean, to cross the ocean to Hawaii. They need to move by canoe, and so many days. The water was very important and essential. And after reaching the island, the first thing I think they do was looking for the fresh water. And that's why how they name fresh water. And one of the good examples of fresh water, why the characteristic is Waimea. Kauai has, a famous Waimea. It's a Waimea Canyon. And whenever, actually, not only Kauai, actually, Oahu has also North Shore. There is a place name called Waimea, and also Big Island has Waimea. So each island has name Waimea, and then why freshwater. And Mea is red, actual red. So Waimea literally means red water. And the place which is called Waimea, the characteristic is red dirt. When they have red dirt, Waimea is named. And this red dirt actually causes, the river red. So red water means a red river because of the red soil, red dirt. So that is how they name Waimea. And also Waikiki, and Kiki means sprout or spring. So Waikiki was known before. It's a wetland, and so Waikiki means the sprout of fresh water. And also here in Hawaii, we were proud to have Waialeale. It's the highest mountain. It's about 1 mile high, and it's actually located in the mid center. It's a right center of the island. It's called Waialeale. And Aleale means that rippling. So rippling of fresh water is abundant of fresh water is Waialeale, because Waialeale is known as the wettest spot on earth. It actually is a heavy rain. And also we have a name called Wairua. Wairua is actually known as Fan Grotto. It's one of the great attractions on Kauai, Wairua. And Rua means two. So if you go up to the river, the river is separated, divided two. Actually, two rivers become one. And that place, because two fresh water, means that Wairua. So that's why they name Wairua. And among the place names, one of the most impressive names I found was Wairuku. And the first I found the name was actually after this Hiroshima event. And Wairuku, actually I found the meaning from the explanation panel at the Rainbow Falls in Big Island. So I think in 2015, we actually had a layperson convention in Hilo. And at that time, I actually did horo and went to the Rainbow Falls. And over there, I found an explanation that Wairuku means destruction of water. Wow, I didn't know it. And I think this was after, the Maui event. Maui had so many, flash flood actually in Wailuku. It's actually specifically Iao Valley. And Iao Valley was struck by heavy rain. And that caused, destroyed actually the parking of the state park. So after the flash flood, Wailuku or Iao Valley, the park was closed. Actually, the state park was closed for, I think, nearly for 1 year. And this amazed me because I never imagined that, excuse me, Wailuku had, such disaster, flash flood, terrible flash flood would happen. But it did happen. And the name Wailuku, destruction water, was actually indicated that flash flood could happen. Wow, whether in Japan or in Hawaii, they name a place name according to the characteristic, and some names have like kind of warning message. And Wailuku, destruction water, was actually, I thought it was named because of very dangerous flash flood could happen. We, Jodoshu, not only Jodoshu, but Buddhist temples actually take care of traditions which has been passed from past generation for hundreds of years. And Buddhism was brought to Japan in 538, and so many years, 1,500 years, we try to keep tradition. And some tradition, we know its original meanings, but some tradition, we just customarily do, the traditions, but we actually don't know why it was held. But one thing is sure, why we do tradition is we try to follow the tradition is because tradition contains so many good, so important message, warning, and something very important to tell us for the future generation. So it's very important to keep following the tradition because this is tradition can be a great message from the ancient people, from our ancestors. So that from place name we can easily understand. So today kind of sorry, it's a long story. So next time I actually want to talk more about this tradition, the importance of tradition. And one of the important Buddhist traditions, there is a great hint for, now for the future. So I want to share it next time. So thank you very much. I aspire for my mind to be like the light of wisdom. With every thought, I burn this incense of discipline and meditation, to dedicate myself to the past, present, and future Buddhas of the 10 directions.
wholeheartedly take refuge in the Buddhas, who eternally dwell in the lands of the 10 directions. I wholeheartedly take refuge in the Dharma, the teachings which eternally exist in the lands of the 10 directions. I wholeheartedly take refuge in the Sangha, the community which eternally exists in the lands of the 10 directions. 문조 미나세소 Shoyakumon Tasagata, the enlightened one, to enter this sacred place. We reverently call upon the Tasagatas of the 10 directions to enter this sacred place. Gashaku shonzo shoaku from my inherent greed, anger, and delusion. Born of my conduct, words, and thoughts, I now repent them all. Junen. Namu Amida Bu, Namu Amida Bu, Namu Amida Bu, Namu Amida. Namu Amida Bu, Namu Amida Bu, Namu Amida Bu, Namu Amida, Namu Amida Bu, Namu Amida Bu. Mujo Jinjin Mimyoho Hyakusen Man Wonan Sogu Ngakon Kemon Tokujuji profound and wondrous Dharma, even after 100,000 million eons, is difficult to encounter. We now here receive and uphold it. May we understand the true message of the Tathagata. Betsueko, Muryojukyo, Komyo, Tandokusho, Butsugo, Nam, Muryojukyo, Komyo, Saison, Daichi, Shobu, Komyo, Shofu, no Gyuaku, Bukko, Shoyakubu sekai wakusenbu sekai shuyogon shinai shoto bongo jabu set nanzai hoppo shiyui jonge yakubu nyoze wakubukko shou shichi shaku wakusho ichi yu jun san shin go yu jun 女税転売内視小一物節の税公無料重物語無料公物無変公物無下公物無体公物縁の公物少女公物官義公物知恵公物普段公物南寺公物無償公物超日学公物豪雨修上具士公社三区消滅新に入南官義有薬前人荘園薬財産図言句師匠見師公明海徳空足無福の十十四五回無下脱無量十仏公明見覚所要実法勝負国土幕府門ね普段が根性語公明一切小仏小門言学小菩薩種願具単尿薬部尿税脈修上門語公明異人空の国地や小絶死神空断随小が読書語国小菩薩小問題修小具単尿小語空読死語年語特物同時不意実法小部菩薩単語公明薬尿今夜仏言が説無料十部公明異人義義宗明昼夜一個正味の人仏説無料儒教光明単独書伊田本税願極楽使用文上三等栄光即所無所心 Amida Buddha's original vows are the essential gate to the ultimate bliss. May this merit be transferred equally to enable us to immediately attain birth in the pure light. Junen. Namu Amidamu 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 Amida Namu Amida Butsu Namu Amida Bu慎み敬って拝読し立て祭る宗祖法然上人ご法後一子故消息松代の主情を往生極楽の木に当ててみるに行少なしとても疑うべからず四年十年に足りぬべし罪人なりとても疑うべからず在根深きをも嫌わじとのたまえり時下れりとても疑うべからず放滅以後の主情なおもて往生すべし湾や近代親 我が身はろしとても歌ごべからず自身はこれ煩悩具足せる凡夫なりとのたまえり実法に浄土けれの裁縫願うは純悪五逆の市場の生まるるゆえなり諸仏の中に皆に帰したて祭るは3年5年に至るまで自ら来航したもゆえなり諸行の中に念仏を用いるは可能仏の本願なるゆえなり今皆の本願に乗じて往生し難に願として上せずということあるべからず本願に乗ずることは信心の深きによるべし受けがたき人参を受けて愛がたき本願にあいて起こしがたき同心を起こして離れがたき輪廻の里を離れて生まれがたき浄土に往生せんこと喜びの中の喜びなり罪は純悪具悪のものも生まると信じて商罪をも犯さにと思うべし罪人なお生まる言わんや善人をや行は1年10年なおむなしからずと信じて無権に死すべし1年なお生まる言わんや多年後や阿弥陀仏は不死小学の言葉を成就して現にかの国にましませば定んで明寿の時は来航したまわん釈尊はよきかな我が教えに従いて生じをあなると知見したまい六方の諸仏は喜ばしきかな我が少女を信じて二人の浄土に生まると喜びたもらんと天に仰ぎ地に伏して喜ぶべしこの度皆の本願に会うことを行住座がにも報ずべしかの仏の音読を頼みても頼むべきはないし十言の言葉信じてもなお信ずべきは筆徳往生の門なり。When considering the capacity of living beings in the latter age of the Dharma, Mappo, we should not doubt the attainment of birth in Amida's Buddha's pure land of ultimate bliss, even though we may hardly practice. One recitation or 10 recitation suffices. Even those who are in unfortunate state due to their past should have no doubts, for Shakyamuni Buddha proclaimed that Amida would never abandon us, no matter how deep the roots of all our transgressions. Though much time has passed since the time of Shakyamuni, we should still have no doubts that the living beings can be born into the Pure Land even after the extinction of the Dharma. So why not now in this time? We should not doubt even if we ourselves are spiritually disadvantaged, for Master Shantao said, I myself am an ordinary person, Bonga, full of defilements. Though there are many pure lands in the 10 directions, the reason we aspire to be born in the western pure land of Amida is that even those who have committed the 10 transgressions and the 5 grievous crimes can be born there. Of all the Buddhas, the reason we take refuge in Amida Buddha is that he will personally welcome us to the Pure Land with even 3 or 5 Nenbutsu recitations. Of all the practices, the reason we recite the Nenbutsu is that Amida directed us to pursue this practice in the original vow, Honga. If we now aspire to be born in Amida's Pure Land through the original vow, then we should not doubt its accomplishment. To be embraced by the original vow depends on our entrusting mind, Shinji. We have received this human form, which is difficult to receive. We have encountered the original vows, which are difficult to encounter. We have awakened to the cultivated mind, which is difficult to awaken. We have separated ourselves from the cycle of birth and death, which is difficult to part from. To be born in the Pure Land, which is difficult to be born into, is a happiness of happinesses. As for wrongdoings, even those who have committed the 10 transgressions and the 5 grievous crimes have faith that they will be born in the Pure Land. Then think how much more so for those who have not committed even the smallest transgressions. If such transgression can gain birth in the Pure Land, how much more so can a good person? If we believe that 1 or 10 restitutions of Nenbutsu are not in vain, then we should practice ceaselessly. If we can be born in the Pure Land through 1 restitution, how much more so for many restitutions? Since Amida Buddha fulfilled his word that he would not attain enlightenment until all beings who aspire to be born in his land are born there, and is indeed now in the Pure Land, therefore Amida will surely come to receive us at the determined time of our death. Shakyamuni Buddha declared, excellent. Abide my teaching and leave the cycle of birth and death behind. All the Buddhas in the 6 directions proclaim, this is joyous. Trust that we have witnessed this and be truly happy that you will be born in the non-retrogressive Pure Land. Revere the heavens, bow to the earth, and rejoice in having encountered the original vow of Amida Buddha. You shall be rewarded by the grace of Amida Buddha for practicing Nenbutsu, whether you are walking, standing, sitting, or lying down. We rely with utmost sincerity on this because Amida said that all who recite Nenbutsu even 10 times shall be welcome. We trust this with utmost sincerity because Shantao taught us in his hymns in praise of pure and birth that all who practice Nenbutsu will surely be born in the pure. Komyo henjo jippo sekai nenbushu jose shusha. The infinite light of Amida Buddha illuminates the 10 directions of the world, and all who call upon his name shall be received and never abandoned. Namu 大悲願の阿弥陀仏発見教師が無二仏の法王者少女諸仏観音聖書大菩薩極楽観有少女大観衆と一切三宝菩提寺よ。I revere the King of Great Compassionate Vows, Amida Buddha, the dispatcher and founder of the teaching Shakyamuni Buddha, all the Buddhas as many as the sons of the Ganges in the 6 directions, Kannon, Seishi, all the great bodhisattvas, the world assemblies of ultimately the beings of the pure and great ocean, and the 3 treasures and great compassion. 天下は純日合唱名風自在明帰国部民内表が無有首都公認無襲来上 May there be harmony below the heavens with the sun and the moon shining brightly. May the wind and rain be timely and disaster and calamity not arise. May nations be one for people safe and armies and weapons not to be used. Let us revere virtue and humanity and cultivate respect and humility. 高祖公明全道大師、古宗祖遠行道前儀上広角寺教名称は順王二大師、法然上人、二代小十国師、小公上人、三祖騎主禅寺、領中上人、三国伝来浄土伝統、初代祖師と上州寺音。Our High Patriarch Komyo, the Great Master Shandao, our founder, the Great Master Enko Tozen Ejo Kokaku Jikyo Meisho Wajun Ho Nidaishi Honen Shonin, the second Patriarch National Teacher Daisho Shoju Shoko Shonin, the third Patriarch the Recording and Meditation Master Kishu Ryochu Shonin, the light of transmitting the pure land of the 3 countries and all the great patriarchs by realizing the compassionate blessings. 当時解散上人、中高上人、歴代諸上人と現行願不教円満 The founding master of our temple, the restorer, and all the priests who serve this temple with the Fugen practice will achieve perfect enlightenment. 思想部門一切断の付け支援修上上者独楽苦樹無料網者陸長少上の My prayers to my teachers and ministers, to my father and mother, to all the temple members, donors, and all living beings with whom I have karmic connections. May all those who are living experience joy, prosperity, and longevity without limit. May those who have died escape from suffering and transcend to be born into the pure light. 自問生命道縁具足無所上下道増上 We pray for the peace and stability of our temple and for complete affinity with the past. May we be completely free of hindrances and cultivate our practice of the Buddhist path. Since the founding of this temple, to all the members, the daily and monthly memorial tablets, the recently deceased, those in the intermediate stage of existence, and to all spirits, may we cultivate virtues so that they may be enlightened. We vow hereon with the virtues accumulated from this place of practice to transfer our merit to our beloved ones, for their happiness and achievement of enlightenment. また願わくは戦死病持つ王難老死三害万礼無縁無縁内四法界平等利益願にし苦毒平等性一切道故中母大神王上安楽国 We aspire for these merits and virtues to be equally bestowed upon all, and may we together develop the aspiration for enlightenment to achieve birth in the pure land of peace and bliss. ナムアミダムナムアミダムナムアミダムナムアミダムナムアミダムナムアミダムナムアミダムウアミダナムアミダブチナムアミダブHowever, innumerable sentient beings are, I honestly vow to enlighten them all. However, inexhaustible delusions are, I honestly vow to extinguish them all. However, immeasurable the Buddha's teachings are, I honestly vow to comprehend them all. However, incomparable enlightenment is, I honestly vow to attain it by all means. I sincerely wish to share the blessing with all beings. Together we are born into the pure land of ultimate bliss to achieve the way of the Buddha. Sanborai. May we now call upon all the Buddhas to return to their lands. We offer incense and flowers in appreciation to send them off. We ask for your compassionate guidance and protection. May those who have gone before us to encourage us to attain birth in the pure land. Junen. Namu Amida Bu, 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 Amida, Namu Amida Bu, Chu Namu Amida Bu. ありがとうございます。This concludes the Sunday service. Please save and please have
good and a wonderful Sunday. Thank you.